Hey friends, welcome back to another weekly wellness update. So this week we're back to my wellness updates being my coaching calls with Jonathan Shane. If you haven't heard about what I'm doing with Jonathan, I'm going through one of his coaching programs. He's helping me work through some issues that I have, get my nutrition in check, exercise in check. And so I've shared a couple of those calls so far, but then last week we missed a week because I was in the middle of getting diagnosed with hyperthyroidism and trying to figure out if I had cancer or an autoimmune disease or, all the details of that. If you haven't seen my video on that, I will put it up in the cards so you can check it out. So worked through all of that last week, getting diagnosed and everything, and we're jumping back into the coaching calls. And I'm so grateful to have Jonathan helping me with my nutrition through this, like with all of it, but particularly the nutrition part, because with the thyroid, the thyroid regulates metabolism. And so when your thyroid is off, your appetite, metabolism, it's all kind of wonky. And so as I'm bringing my thyroid levels down, my appetite is definitely going to change. And so to have his help kind of working through the nutrition piece on this and try to, mitigate weight gain that's going to come with lowering thyroid hormones, all of that. I'm just so grateful for that. Also, I wanted to mention before we get into the call that I forgot in the call to ask him about dairy. And so afterwards, I sent him a message and asked about dairy because he had me off of dairy for the first 3 weeks, off of dairy except for cream in my coffee. And so I was off for about 3 weeks and I said, should I continue off of dairy for this week? And he said I could go ahead and add 1 serving of dairy per day. So I'm released to have a dairy serving per day, which is pretty exciting. So that's the only thing that didn't make it into the call. I think that's it. So let's go ahead and just go to the call with Jonathan. Jonathan, hello.
Hello. How are you?
Doing well.
Good. All right. So we have a lot to cover.
We do.
This call.
Yeah.
So kind of just go over, because I know you made a video and stuff, and I know we've talked, but I kind of want to hear it again, like just where you're at right now. What have you learned since the last time we chatted?
Yeah.
Inform me. Educate me.
Yeah. So obviously I found out that I was hyperthyroid, went through all the tests of the antibody test to find out if it's Graves, the ultrasound to see if it looked suspicious as far as cancer. Both of those things look good, so I don't think I have either of those. It looks like it was from iodine supplementation, and so hopefully it will resolve. It's just going to take a little time. Usually, I've read a few months maybe. So I'm on some medication. I started taking that a few days ago, and that has helped lower my heart rate a little bit so far. And then so there's 2 medications, one that's supposed to help lower my heart rate, and then the other one is supposed to lower the thyroid hormones. And so I'm just kind of waiting for that to start working. My doctor is having me come in every week to get my blood tests done and check my blood pressure because my blood pressure was up as well.
Yep.
So I get that done on Friday. See what this, the dosage of medication is doing and all of that.
Gotcha.
So, and then as far as like eating and stuff, I haven't stuck to the macros. I was starving to death. So I did track a couple of days with the stress of everything that was going on. I didn't track for a while, but I tracked a couple of days and I was eating. One day was 2,400, one day was 2,600. So I think I'm kind of around there. And I've still lost 2 to 3 pounds in the last couple of weeks. So the weight loss has slowed down, but I still am slowly losing on that level of calories.
Okay, good. That's a good news. I know it's a lot. I know a lot's happened. A lot has happened.
Well, I feel like we started and we were, going strong, and then a wrench totally screwed everything up, and we're starting over from scratch almost. I feel like
I wouldn't say that. Especially like I've been doing this long enough. Like generally speaking, when I work with somebody that has more like clinical issues, if you will, in nature, the issues tend to start to unravel as it progresses. It's never just like, okay, we know everything.
Okay, yeah.
This kick butt. It's always like 3 weeks in, something happens. 6 weeks in, something else happens. Like it's just constantly it's like peeling back layers. It's like, oh, so that's under there. Okay, let's clean that off. Yeah. Oh, that's under there. That's nice.
Okay, well that makes me feel better then.
No, it's just constant. And yeah, I'm very used to it. So it's not a big deal. I'm just glad that you have answers. Yeah. When you told me about it, I was like, I'm so glad we got we were going to get your blood labs taken because
I'm so thankful for that. Like you pushing me to do that was like the thing that I need. I don't know how much longer would have gone on before I got it.
No, literally, that's the thing is like you could have been having issues for years because hyperthyroidism, especially when it's iodine induced, just like over iodine supplementation, and your body's just overactive because your body's just not filtering that iodine out well. And so you just have this over high level for no reason. That's hard to catch if you don't have blood levels. In fact, it's almost impossible. You're doing what you're doing. You're like, you're sleeping more, you're eating more. You're like, why is my heart rate not going down? I don't understand what's going on, and trying all the things you think are the answer. And it's just, you're just spinning in circles constantly.
Yeah. And like I was talking to Lindsay this morning, there's so many overlap symptoms like from different issues. And so since I had iron deficiency before, I was like, oh, well, that just makes sense. My ferritin has dropped. I'm having these symptoms again. It's obvious. It's most likely that it's the iron deficiency. And so I didn't even have on my radar to like dig into something else. I was like, oh, well, that's what it is. I just need to get that taken care of. And then that wasn't what it was.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting though is that they're related, right? Like thyroid, like we're talking about like your progesterone, estrogen numbers, and all of that. Like, because your progesterone was low too, to be fair. And so, and when we get all your blood labs back, we can like look at all in its entirety. But the thing is, like, all of this is correlated. Like your iron levels, your progesterone, estrogen, your thyroid. Like now, what's going to be interesting is we kind of talked about this on the first call. What's the root cause? If the thyroid regulates, does everything else regulate? Right? Was it the thyroid? Or generally it's not. So just from experience, generally it's not. Generally the thyroid can be a symptom, right? But it's not necessarily the root cause. Now the over iodine supplementation could be the root cause for sure.
Right.
And so still fixing your thyroid and getting all that to level out could fix everything else. So really it's gonna be interesting to figure out like what's stemming from what. And this is gonna lead us in the general right direction.
Yeah. I definitely dealt with low iron before ever supplementing iodine. So I think that's probably not the root cause of the iron stuff, but another layer of the onion.
Another layer of the onion. Once we get the thyroid leveled out, then we'll get the rest of the blood labs taken, and then we'll peek into your progesterone and estrogen. I'll probably have you take the progesterone again, just because after the thyroid's regulated, and then that'll give us, and then we can address that next and see what we can do to manipulate those numbers. Okay, so as far as nutrition, right? Because we're gonna control what we can control. I love working along primaries and practitioners. It's fun, especially when they're medical in nature, because I get to try to do my thing. They focus on their thing. Everybody's happy. So I increased your macros a little bit, and now you don't have to hit these perfectly, but listening to your body, up until about 2,400 calories a day. Okay. Good news is on like a purely like side goal weight loss thing, you wanted to lose 20 pounds and you're down to 8. So
yeah. So I did hear that with hyperthyroidism, you can lose more muscle percentage wise. So I really, want to focus on strength training and mitigate that as much as possible. And I have exercised pretty consistently through this whole thing up until the last couple of weeks. And so I'm hopeful that it's not too much muscle, but that is something that I am aware of and want to.
I doubt it. You weren't eating low enough to wear through muscle. Now, to be fair, like when you always see like there's people that or people that like follow fitness influencers, they'll see the guy that's like always shredded and just like super muscular, and they'll be like, man, why does he must be on steroids? Like he never gains weight. And sometimes some people are on steroids, but there are women and men that just have super overactive thyroids. And so they're just super lean. And so to keep, they will lose muscle. Like if they have to eat like, these are the people that like have abs but eat like 7,000 calories a day. Because if they eat less, they just melt away. They just disintegrate. And so overactive thyroids tend to look like that for sure.
Yeah, I never went low protein. I never went very low calorie. I mean, 2,000 was probably the lowest I went.
Yeah.
So hopefully. I know. That's why I was frustrated. I was like, why am I so hungry? 2,000 calories is extremely reasonable. What is wrong with me?
It was good though. It was good, even though it wasn't that low. It triggered like questioning. I was like, okay, this doesn't make sense, which is good. It's good. So I did up your protein to 175 grams a day.
Okay.
Okay. You're still carb cycling, and I know that we're pulling back on strength training. I know we're pulling back on like intense exercise and running right now as we regulate your thyroid, which is smart. It's smart. However, we also don't. So as we talked about before, and I talk about in a lot of my content, the ketogenic diet long-term for women can be stressful. Not every woman, but for some women. And you're already dealing with a lot of stressors. The one thing I don't want to do is put you into a very strict ketogenic diet framework. And we, stress your body out more than it already is stressed dealing with everything it's dealing with. But also, we know that the thyroid slows down on a ketogenic diet. Like T numbers come down. Now, most people are high, like average thyroid. And so when their T3 and T4 come down from less carbohydrates, because carbohydrates have a big role in the conversion to T3. Like they have a big role. It's not fully understood, but we know that there's a byproduct that's made through carbohydrate consumption that helps with the development of T3, which is why less carbohydrates, thyroid levels come down. Most people, though, they have average thyroid levels. So when it comes down, it's not enough to really impact their weight loss or life. Plus, they have more ketones, so it balances out energy, right? So they don't notice it. Some people have lower active thyroids, and so they're on keto too long, and they go hypothyroid. And then what I don't want to do with you is I don't want to do something like that, and you're on medication to lower your thyroid function, and then I don't want to go the other side.
Exactly. Yeah.
So just cycling in and out of a low carb keto day is going to be good, just to manage your hormones, manage your thyroid levels as you go through the healing process.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool. So as far as I know, you have is it 10K, right?
Yeah. So I'm thinking I need to just let that go.
When is it?
April 27th. So it's just in like 3 weeks. I'm like, it's just not the right time.
No.
And that's fine.
Yeah,
I wasn't doing it for any reason besides I just wanted to be healthy. And so if it's going to keep me from, being healthy, then why would I do it? So I have no pride involved.
Yeah, you could just not train for it and then just do it.
Good.
But yeah. Oh, okay. Someone's joining the call.
Hey.
What? You want a piece of gum? I'm giving her sugar-free gum, everybody.
Oh no. All right. Cue the comments.
Oh no. Cue the comments. All right, get out. Go ahead. Love you. Anyways, so that's what we'll do with your macros. As far as your training goes, you can go for walks. Walks are actually really good for regulating blood sugar. They're really good for parasympathetic state. They're good for your heart health. So like if you want to go, instead of going for like 30-minute runs, you can go for 30-minute walks.
Yeah.
Totally fine for now. And then as we start to see your numbers start to regulate, then we can get back into the running.
Yeah. Like yesterday I went to my exercise class and it was like a mat Pilates class. And my doctor just said I could exercise, but just to keep my heart rate not going higher than about 150. So just keeping it low intensity.
Yeah. And that's why the strength training, just because when you strength train, if you're lifting super heavy, there might be spurts of your heart rate going up, like about 150. But as long as you're taking 90 seconds roughly between each set to let your heart rate come back. And when you look at like what I always look at is the average heart rate over the course of a workout. Yes. So like it was my average heart rate under 150. Okay, cool. Right. Yeah. So if it goes over that a little bit, it's not a big deal as long as on average you were under it. You're fine.
Yeah. That's pretty much what my doctor said is it could go over it just a little bit, but then you make sure it comes back down right away.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want it to be a hit where it's like your average heart rate was 180 the whole time. It's like you're just killing yourself. Yeah. Absolutely. Also, so something else to mention, super important here, sleep.
Yeah.
I cannot overemphasize sleep when you're trying to regulate hormones like this.
Yeah.
Sleep over everything. If you miss your walk one day to get your extra hour because you need it, just do it. Just sleep.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, and my sleep has gotten longer at least since I got on these meds.
Good.
So I was having a little bit of trouble. Not a lot. It wasn't like I was having insomnia or anything, but just a little less sleep. And it's definitely been more the last week.
Yeah, well, especially if your heart was like higher at rest. Like it's
trying to go to sleep and my heart rate was over 100.
I've had that happen. I'm like laying down and I'm like, am I having a panic attack? And I look at my watch and my heart rate's like 98 and I'm like, what the heck is going on? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and for some reason, like laying down, my heart rate, maybe it's the time of the day or just the position, but it's higher than when I'm just sitting.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know what. But it's been better since I've been on the medications.
Good. You could try getting some extra pillows and sleeping at like a slight 30-degree.
Okay.
And see if that helps. It may just be a laying down thing. So the heart's weird. Gravity pulling down, not long. I don't know.
Yeah. So weird.
But yeah. Okay, cool. So sleep's good. All right, we have a plan for nutrition. And then you're doing the thyroid and you're getting your blood checked every week. So that's good. So that's where we'll go from here. I don't want to mess with too much beyond that. I think we're in a good, we're going in a good direction. So
I feel like I'm on the path to feeling normal again.
Yeah, good.
But I'm on the path.
On the path. Is there any questions you have? Like, is there anything that we're not touching that you're curious about?
Well, for me, it's kind of a wait and see, because I know that with the meds that I'm on, it's going to be changing my thyroid hormones, which is going to change my appetite. And I know that with, one of them that I'm on, it, people tend to gain weight on them. So I am really glad to really keep track of stuff and try to mitigate that if possible. Like you said, I've made it a little way towards my goal. Might as well try to keep that as much as I can. Yeah. And so, so I guess it's just kind of a wait and see, as my appetite adjusts, maybe I'll be able to knock down the calories, and I don't know. Yeah.
The thing is too, but if you're at 2,400, or if you're at 2,400, you're hitting your macros and you keep losing 3 pounds a week, who cares? Just ride the train.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Yep. That sounds good.
All right. So we'll just keep me updated, and then we'll just continue on, and we'll check in next week and see how you're doing.
Yep. That sounds good.
Sweet. All right.
Thank you.
Bye.